Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Snyder's Inc. Hope you're all having a great Sunday. Yep, I got that right. Okay. Now, we got another video here from Fact Fraction. And this video is 5 chilling cases of killed children. So this is going to be interesting to hear. I hope y'all are prepared for this one. Are you guys ready? Of course you're ready. Let's get into it. Warning, the following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
From a brother and sister who murdered their stepmom to an 8-year-old serial killer, today Fact Faction looks at 5 of the youngest killers. 14-year-old Barry Dale Lukitis received 2 life sentences and an extra 205 years for a shooting spree that occurred at Frontier Middle School in Washington.
Damn school shooting. This boy took his pretty much put his life away. He's never getting out. All just to shoot up at school.
In 1996, while dressed as a Wild West shooter, Lukitis armed himself with one of his father's rifles and 2 pistols and walked into his school and murdered 2 students and a teacher who were in an algebra class at the time. Another student was also critically injured. According to many reports, as Barry saw his classmates panic, he shouted, "This sure beats the hell out of algebra, doesn't it?" A quote.
What? That's what he's... What an idiot.
From one of Stephen King's novels titled Rage, the contents of which closely mirrored Barry's situation, as it was about the main character holding his algebra class hostage and shooting 2 teachers. For a short amount of time, Barry held hostages in the hopes of escaping from the scene. However, once teacher and coach John Lane entered the classroom, students were swiftly evacuated, and Lukitis was tackled to the ground where he was held until police arrived. Currently, Barry Lukitis is serving 2 life sentences, alongside 205 years of mandatory time at Clallam Bay Corrections Facility. In recent years, the Supreme Court ruled that sending juveniles to prison for life without the possibility of parole is cruel and unusual punishment, and ordered defendants like Barry to be sentenced all over again. A resentencing will certainly be a polarizing choice for the community and for the victims' families.
What? He's getting resentenced? I wonder what he got. Give me a second. I'm Googling this right now. Oh, come on. What was his name? Hold on. Give me a second. I'll go. Okay, 215. Where were I? Hold on. Oh my god, I wasn't close. Okay. I'm gonna go back to that spot. I just. Okay, he was resentenced to 189 years. Still ain't getting out, boy. Oh, man. So despite even resentencing, he still ain't never again. There was a lot of way for stupidity.
In 1999, brother and sister Curtis and Catherine Jones were both arrested for the murder of their father's girlfriend. The two children, who were 12 and 13 years old at the time, had gotten a hold of their father's 9mm handgun and shot 29-year-old Sonia Spites dead.
Why?
The details of the murder were hazy for quite some time, and the motive initially was believed to have been through an act of jealousy. However, it was later revealed that the kids had both suffered from physical and sexual abuse in their family home. The pair claimed that they were both abused by a male family member who lived in their house and who even shared a room with Curtis. Child Protective Services were informed a number of times of violence in the home. However, they failed to take any action. In addition,
okay, so these guys were abused physically, sexually, and mentally, and were forced and pretty much had people like Child Protective Services kind of abandon them. So in their mind, when they had that gun, that was the only way to get it to end. It's not right. I can understand that thought process, though.
in addition to their father's girlfriend, the children later revealed that they also had planned to murder their father, as well as the man who they say was responsible for the abuse.
The abuse guy will get. I don't know what you're mad at your father for. He probably didn't even know.
The pair were the first children at the time to be charged as adults, with first-degree murder. But after some pleading, this was changed to second-degree murder. They were found guilty and were each sentenced to 18 years in prison and a life of probation. In mid-2000...
A life of probation? Oh my God. Can you imagine that you never can get off probation? You are under probation for life. Wow. Wow. Oh, that's gonna suck.
2015, the two siblings were both released from prison at the ages of 29 and 30 years old. While behind bars, Curtis Jones was ordained as a Christian minister. Catherine said that she looks forward to catching up on all the things she has missed.
Makes you regret the decision, doesn't it?
Mary Flora Bell was a mere 10 and 11 years old when she murdered two young boys.
Why did she say merely 10, 11 years old? You're either 10 or 11.
In 1968. Born into a less than favorable family, her mother was a teenage prostitute who later married an armed robber. Mary did not have the best start in life, and she had a reputation in her home area of Scotswood as a delinquent. On the day before her 11th birthday, Mary murdered a 4-year-old boy named Martin Brown by strangling him in a derelict house. Shortly after the incident...
Why? Why? Why kill? Like, I get you are in an unthinking, but why did you take it on a defenseless child for?
A local nursery was broken into and vandalized, and notes, which were written in child's handwriting, were found by police, which spoke about the murder. Just 2 months later, 3-year-old Brian Howe's body was found in a wasteland, close to the first crime scene. His death was also caused by strangulation. Police...
This girl is evil. Pure evil. She is taking anger. Because that's what causes this, is anger. Anger from the situation she is in and probably abuse she probably has taken, I can guess. If you're a drug dealer and you prostituting things, you are not in a good environment. So I can see abuse happening. She has all that But she's taking her anger on these defenseless boys. And she's getting enjoyment because she's placing notes on them and she's enjoying it. She's evil. It's unfortunate. She's one of those people you can sympathize with for why she's this way. But she still is that way.
Linked the two murders and took action by interviewing local children. Two stood out, Mary and another girl named Norma, as both of their answers were indefinite and their stories changed numerous times. The pair began to accuse each other. Eventually, both girls were taken into custody and were charged with the murders. Police claimed that Mary had returned to the second crime scene and had carved an M into the child's stomach. She also cut off some hair before scratching his legs and mutilating his private parts.
What?
At the trial in 1968, the two girls admitted to breaking into the nursery and leaving the notes there. However, it was Mary's attitude that stood out the most. While Norma was frightened and confused, Mary remained confident and calm. After almost 10 days' deliberation, a jury eventually found Mary guilty of manslaughter and sentenced her to life imprisonment. Although Norma was present when the second murder took place, she was acquitted and found not guilty. After spending 12 years
Evil Mary. Mary, pure evil.
behind bars, Mary was released in 1980 and left prison with a new identity. Greeted with a media uproar, she published a biography in 1998 titled Cries Unheard, the story of Mary Bell.
You have no, she has no thought process at all here. She has no self-thought at all here. Hold on. So she's released after 12 years after murdering 2 innocent lives. Red flag number 1. That is horrible. 2. She gets a new identity. And it gets an uproar about it because now she's just free about after murdering people, which means she could kill again. Problem. 3rd one. She fucking makes a book about herself. You have a new identity for a reason there, woman. What's wrong with you? Evil. Evil.
In a murder that
I know this one.
shocked Britain as a nation, John Venables and Robert Thompson were both only 10 years old when they murdered a 2-year-old named James Bulger. On February 12th, (1993), instead of going
So I'm in the middle of arranging something that will benefit my YouTube and everyone who watches it. So it's important, don't worry. But let's continue.
to school, the 2 young boys spent the day in a
Oh, you are an evil looking bastard. Look at this guy. Look at this smile. That is evil as hell right there. Oh my god. That is pure evil.
shopping mall in the town of Boodle, where they shoplifted many items, including a can of paint, batteries, and sweets. As well as petty theft, the boys were also on the lookout for a child to kidnap. At around 3:40 p.m., James Bulger and his
What type of thought process does this guy have? These kids are pure evil. They are evil incarnate right here. There is no other way to describe it. They are only just evil. Nothing else.
his mother were inside a butcher's shop, which was located on the ground floor of the mall. Venables and Thompson spotted the young boy in the shop and decided that he would be their unlucky victim. As James's mother was briefly distracted, both boys approached the toddler and took him by the hand and led him out of the mall. After walking for over 2 miles, they eventually ended up at Walton and Anfield railway station, where they began torturing the helpless toddler. Some of the 42 horrific injuries the young boy suffered included many bruises, cuts, and fractures. The boys had placed batteries inside his mouth, poured paint into his left eye, and threw bricks and stones at him. James Bulger was eventually put out of his misery as Venables and Thompson beat his head with an iron bar. After the brutal murder, the two
This boy did nothing to these two. Was just innocent. An innocent boy walking with his mother. An innocent child. With these two evil human beings. Disgusting kids. Feel the need to take him. The fact you're going to a mall, you're going to a mall looking for a child that you plan to kidnap and then kill and torture is wrong in every way. You are a horrible human being. You are horrible human beings. And you should go freaking rot in hell. What the hell? All of it's wrong.
Two boys placed his lifeless body onto the train tracks to make it appear like an accident. After police released grainy CCTV footage from the shopping mall, a woman came forward and identified John Venables as one of the boys. Both Venables and Thompson were subsequently arrested and were charged with the murder.
You're under caution, and you do not have to say anything unless you wish to do so, but anything you say may be given in evidence. Now, you understand that, don't you, John?
Yeah.
All right. I have a photograph here, which is a video camera photograph.
That's me. That's me.
So, the boy holding James's hand is you.
Yeah.
And the boy ahead of you, in the dark jacket and trousers, Robert Thompson. And what was it you told us?
That I killed James.
Can you just tell us what happened?
He took me around, so I can start throwing bricks at him. And then
Who did?
Robbie.
Why did he throw bricks at him?
No.
He hits him where exactly?
In the face.
In the
I
face.
think he hit him in the eyes.
And he hits him in the eyes. Right.
Now, was James making any noises
He
then?
was knocked out.
He was knocked out. Was he moving at all?
After they both confessed, they were given sentences, which meant they would remain in custody until they reached adulthood. The two boys, now men, are unable to explain why they committed the horrific crime. After being released in 2001,
You released them? All they did and you released them. What? How do you release? What? I don't understand the justice system at all anymore.
Venables and Thompson were both given new identities.
People probably gonna hunt their stupid asses because they deserve to be dead. How? I don't know if I've ever been so angry before. Hate him. hate them so much.
In 2010, John Venables was sent back to prison on child pornography charges.
Should never have been out of prison in the first place. Shouldn't have the fucking child porn because he should have been fucking in jail for murder for life.
Amarjit Sada has been named India's youngest serial killer, and for a good reason. Born in 1998, this young boy, at the age of 8 years old, murdered 3 babies in cold blood. Sada's first victim was his 6-month-old cousin, who he killed.
What? Why? What? How? What makes children do this? I don't understand it.
Killed in 2006. A few months later, he went on to murder his 8-month-old sister. According to various sources, Sada's family and some people living in the village knew about the murders, but did not report them because it was considered as family matters.
What? Hold up. What? No, I'm not. What? Hold on. How is this family matters? People are dead. That's not how murder works. Is that how murder works in India? Well, family member kills another family member. Is that how it is in India? Well, it's family matters. No, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. If that's actually a thing, that's fucked up. That's just straight effed up. That makes no damn sense to me.
Sada's final victim was a neighbor's 6-month-old daughter. The young boy abducted her from the village primary school and took her to a field and beat her to death using a brick. The other 2 children were believed to have also died in this way.
This boy is not right. He's not right in the head. He is a horrible, horrible, horrible human being. I feel bad for that. All these literal innocent lives that are being taken by this kid. There's just no remorse at all.
When asked about the disappearance of the neighbor's daughter, Sada confessed to the killing and even led...
Look at it, see, you're evil. You're evil. You are pure evil. Like, your face is evil. You look evil. You are evil. You're just evil.
Police to the place where the murder had occurred. The 8-year-old then also confessed to the murder of his sister and cousin. So why did he do it? Sada's motives are unclear, but when questioned, police say he just smiled a lot and asked for biscuits. Medical experts believe he has a conduct disorder, and due to a severe chemical imbalance in his brain, he receives a sense of gratification from inflicting injuries on others. It's not 100% clear where Sada is now, but some reports suggest he is living in a hospital and seeking therapy to help cope with his mental illness. Because he was sentenced as a juvenile, according to Indian law, the maximum sentence for his crimes would have been 3 years.
What?
Sada will now be 18 years old, and there is a chance that he is now a free man.
Who made that rule? Is that still a rule? Please tell me that's not still a rule. Please tell me that is not a thing that if a child killed someone, they only 3 years. Now, I understand. Well, people say don't put them away for life. I can understand the thought process, because the thought process is, oh, well, they might not have known what they were doing. And they might not have known what you're doing and how it affects them. But if this person has a mental disorder that can make him enjoy inflicting pain on us and make him do more of this, don't put him in society. Again, people go, oh, there's a chance he might be in the hospital. There's also a chance he's not, and he's free, and that's a problem. It's like the people before. The people before, I went in jail for life because of how twisted and sick they were and disturbed they were in beating up this young boy. They fucking enjoyed that. You should go to jail for that. You should go to jail and never be allowed anything, because no, I wouldn't trust them. But everybody, that does it for this reaction video. Hope you all enjoyed. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, and comment down below. I am pissed off now. And I'll see you all for the next one.